Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. This was a big weekend. Not only did we have the Chinese Grand Prix, which we have already looked at in this video, go watch it after you watch this one. We also have some big events from the other big series around the world. We had the WRC Safari Rally, the second round of IndyCar from the Thermal Club, F1 Academy getting underway in China, and NASCAR from Miami. Definitely a weekend of quality over quantity, but there is plenty to go over. So make sure you subscribe and let's jump into all the drama from the past weekend in motorsport. World Rally Championship is already on round 3 with the Safari Rally from Kenya, one of the toughest on the calendar. All the drivers were taking part in a protest against the FIA swearing ban after Adrian Formal was fined at Rally Sweden. So we got very short interviews and very little information. I support them in this endeavour. They should be allowed to say what they like. And the highlight for me was listening to Elfyn Evans speak in Welsh. Only 10 Rally 1 cars in Kenya, and one of those was being driven by Jordan Serderidis. So points were on offer for a few drivers from the lower classes, especially as the casualties started to come in. Adrian Formal was first after his issues in Sweden. He needed a really good Safari Rally to get back on track, and the chances of that happening ended before stage 2, when an electrical problem stopped him from starting the stage. Gregoire Munster was the next to come unstuck with broken suspension on stage 4. Katsuta and Pyrie had also had a rough ride, causing issues with punctures, meaning they had to be careful. This was an incredible rally to watch. The height the drivers were getting on the jumps was just amazing. Even more incredible was stage 7, which led to several very damaged cars, a lot of punctures, and WRC2 leader Oliver Solberg getting stuck in the fine sand, and he needed a tow to get out. Not his fault. Nothing he could have done, just a quirk of the stage after it had been torn up by the Rally 1 cars. Odd Tanak had started to dominate the rally, but he was the next car to hit trouble. He dropped oil on stage 8 and was then slow at the start of stage 9. That meant Elfyn Evans and Caleb Rovanpera were the only cars not to hit any real trouble, and this was only the end of day 2. If things weren't difficult enough already, then the rain coming on day 3 was about to make it even spicier. Caleb Rovanpera damaged his rear suspension and had to take it slow, basically gifting the win to Elfyn Evans. On stage 18, Rovanpera retired, leaving Evans a couple of minutes ahead of the Hyundais. There was one final moment of drama on the Wolf Power stage. Takamoto Katsuta had been brilliant at points in this rally, especially as he was also unwell, but he pushed too hard and rolled the car. Another win for Evans as he keeps his incredible start to the year going. The Hyundais are chasing him, but Caleb Rovanpera has had a tough return. Formal has been quick but unlucky. At the moment, it looks like the championship fight between whichever Hyundai can catch up to Elfyn Evans. This was a great rally. I really enjoyed all the drama from the weekend. As I said, everyone had something go wrong to various degrees, and that made it a very entertaining watch. Next up, we have a new rally on the calendar, the Canary Island Rally, at the end of April. Can Elfyn Evans keep up his title charge? Time will tell. IndyCar was racing at the Thermal Club, and this year it was a full points paying race instead of a non-championship borefest. Pato O'Ward was on pole and looking for a change of fortunes. This was a pretty dull race, not many overtakes, big gaps throughout the field, and a lot of technical difficulties because of a loss of power at the track. Maybe don't go to the Thermal Club. It was dull last year, and it was dull in 2025, and if they can't even cope with the demand for electricity, best to look elsewhere for new tracks. It got a little interesting with 15 laps left, with a good battle between Alex Palou and Christian Lundgaard. But when Palou finally got past, he was just under 8 seconds behind O'Ward. It took like 3 laps to catch him, blew past him, and he was leading with 10 laps left. Another win for Alex Palou ahead of the McLarens, but Alex Palou is on another level to everyone else in IndyCar right now. The only entertainment value from this race was watching Will Power come through the field to finish 6th. Otherwise, this was one of the worst IndyCar races I have ever seen, and I look forward to the next round at Long Beach in a few weeks' time. F1 Academy started with the Chinese Grand Prix support round, plenty of familiar faces and a few new ones to look out for. Maya Woog was the first pole sitter of the season for the feature race, but first we had the sprint. Our first spinner of 2025 was for Chinese guest driver Shi Wei, losing it all on her own, and after the safety car, Aurelia Nobels got turned around after contact with Leah Block. Nobels retired with damage and brought out a second safety car. In between all the spins, Maya Woog and Dorian Pan has shown they are the class of this field, making a couple of very good overtakes. As soon as the race restarted, Chloe Chong slammed Nicole Hafter out of the race and a third safety car came out. This was not much of a race. Nina Gademan led for the most part, but a mechanical issue ended her chances with a couple of laps left. That left Alicia Palmowski to take her first F1 Academy win, just holding off teammates Chloe Chambers and Maya Woog climbed to third. There was still more drama on the last lap. Dorian Pan locked up and dropped behind Alba Harrop Larsen, who did brilliantly on her F1 debut. These positions were swapped after the latter was penalised for contact with Emma Felbermeyer, who was spun on the last lap by Tina Hausmann, and both dropped out of the top 10. Entertaining race at times, but far too stop-start for my liking. Onto the feature race, the track was dusty and slippery, so we had a rolling start. Dorian Pan pulled off an incredible overtake at turn 1 on Maya Woog. Absolutely brilliant, 10 out of 10 move. Unfortunately, 5 cars went off in a couple of different incidents. That meant another safety car and possibly a long one with so many broken cars. Tina Hausmann, I am confident in saying, isn't very good. I have seen her crash so many times, and she managed it twice in China, taking out teammate Nina Gaderman, whilst Julia Seconte was spun and Nobles and Herfder couldn't avoid contact. Once the race restarted, it was a very good watch. Chloe Chambers and Larsen's battle for third was super fun to watch, and there was plenty of battles going on through the pack. Out front, no one could stop Dorian Pan, taking her first win of the year. There is a clear divide between the good and the bad in F1 Academy, so we are likely to see these battles throughout the year, which I am fine with. Next up, Saudi Arabia. NASCAR at Homestead, Miami. Josh Berry followed up his first NASCAR win by starting on the front row. I genuinely don't know how NASCAR avoids having more accidents in the pit lane. All the cars came in at the end of stage 1. They tried to go side by side in groups of 4 or 5, and in this case, we had a couple of spinners nearly hitting the pit crews. Seems too dangerous for 2025, and yet NASCAR still persists with this way of doing things. I'm surprised we don't see more pit crew members riding NASCARs onto the track. It's fine, but if someone got really hurt, they'd have to make changes anyway, and why not do it before that happens? This race was pretty dull. There were a few good battles between Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin in particular for the Stage 2 win. Ryan Blaney had a dramatic engine blow-up to bring out a yellow. A first win of the year for Kyle Larson. No big crashes, which is a rarity for NASCAR. Next up, Cookout 400 from Martinsville this weekend. Finally, we have the start of the TCR UK series from Donington Park. Unfortunately, I can't find race 1, but we still have races 2 and 3 to cover. Carl Boardley won the last 2 championships, but is absent for 2025, so someone will get the chance to be champion. Race 2 was damp but drying, and that meant the leaders were trying to make their wet tyres last, whilst the drivers on slicks such as Adam Shepherd and Callum Newsham were closing towards the end of the race. It wasn't even difficult for Adam Shepherd in the end. Race 3 started with a red flag for a couple of incidents, one involving Shepherd, who was spun to the back. He spent the race climbing through the field, helped by Brad Hutchison retiring from second with a suspension problem. Callum Newsham took the win. He and Shepherd look the most likely to win for TCR UK in 2025. So that was all the racing from the past weekend. Most of it was really, really good, but I felt the IndyCar race was a bit of a letdown. Certainly not my race of the weekend. That award goes to the entirety of the Safari Rally. Kept me guessing the whole time, pure drama throughout. F1 Academy was also very entertaining, as was the Formula 1. Not a lot on this weekend, NASCAR and Formula Regional America, and a few other smaller series. April, on the other hand, is going to be very busy, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I apologise if my voice sounds weird, I have got a bit of a cold. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.